Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signor, and I need your help. Come on, people. Let's do this together. Share this video, like it, comment, etc. I want to challenge Netflix and their yearly popular list. I'm just smelling BS, and I'm not trying to be negative and just being hateful, but I don't know. Something smells fishy here, Netflix. Their lack of transparency on views has been something we've been complaining about for a while. They don't want to reveal their numbers, and they don't have to. They're their own company, right? We pay them, so they don't have advertisers to sort of have to prove their numbers to. They have shareholders and stuff that they do it for. But you know what? It's kind of smart to not release your numbers because you can tell Adam Sandler, your movie's huge, yeah. Or you can tell him, you know what? It does okay, but it doesn't do great. And then he doesn't know that it's actually the movie that's saving the company. There's a million tricky things you could do as a company by not revealing your views. By keeping them internal, you control a lot more on how much you pay talent, on what you can, know what's valuable, etc. I understand it, but it's shady. It's shady, Netflix. And now in the age of streaming with Disney Plus, HBO Max, Peacock, all these things coming up front, I do think it's important for someone to step forward and say, you know what, we believe in accountability and transparency. We want our viewers to actually know what does work and what doesn't. That's important to us. So let's do it. Back in the day, Netflix used to have like pretty good rating scales and stuff, so you could actually tell if something was good. But now that it's all of their own content, they don't want to show a negative rating to one of their original shows. Again, I get why they're doing it because they want you to watch everything. But the problem is, Netflix needs to have better aggregators so you know whether it's actually good to watch or not. And not everything they make is good. The problem is their stamp of Netflix original sometimes misses the mark. Now, granted, that's with every studio, but at least, more reviews and things come out there to sort of help you know. With Netflix, there's so much and they binge it and stuff. It's hard to find reviews. People don't go review Netflix stuff like they do studio movies that come out or even, network TV shows. So how do we keep accountability? Well, I got an idea. That's what I want to talk to you about. Let's do this together. I need your help in the comments below. Let's get engaging. Let's go down below and help me as I talk about this. Because Netflix produces this yearly list of the most popular things. Now they're doing 2019, the most popular things. And look, I'm not entirely surprised that Murder Mystery, the Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston movie, was popular. I saw the movie. I reviewed it. Look, it's stupid. It's turn your brain off idiot stuff. But it was a fun date night movie. It was actually better Sandler than I appreciated. It was a clever premise. Jennifer Aniston and him have good chemistry. I didn't hate it. It was like Knives Out but dumber. Murder Mysteries are in on Netflix. It was like they made this by committee of like, let's get Jennifer Aniston. Women like her, and men love Adam Sandler. He's so silly. Oh, and people are really watching murder documentaries. So let's do a murder mystery. We'll call it Murder Mystery. That way, when people look it up, they'll find it there and they'll see a nice big thumbnail of Jennifer Aniston, Adam Sandler, and they'll click it. And I believe they did. I do believe this was a smart, not too expensive movie that makes sense why it was successful. So look, I'm not challenging that Murder Mystery was popular. I think they're being smart by knowing, yeah, a lot of people watched it, so now we can own this and say that they watched it. And so by doing that, then they can say, well, here's the real list. So yeah, you all watched Murder Mystery. That's true. And you all watched Stranger Things. But yeah, you also all watched these other things. One show, The Incredibles 2, is the only non-Netflix thing. They put one Disney thing in. Everything else here is all their original Netflix stuff. That's the most popular release. Now, how are they quantifying most popular? Let's talk about this. They say, in order to be most popular, this is measured. Popularity is measured by the number of subscribers who watched at least 2 minutes of a feature or TV show in the first 28 days of its release. Netflix ranked TV shows like The Witcher Season 2, which have yet to be on the service for 20 days, based on its projected viewership numbers. Now, notice something. The first thing I noticed was, where's The Office? Hello, I watched The Office. Where's Last Jedi? Come on, right before Rise of Skywalker. They aren't counting them because you see the trickiness they're doing here? The first 28 days of its release. So that stuff got released last year. So this is the best of 2019. So therefore, The Office has been on for a while. So they can't quantify the fact that The Office would run rings around this. Even in its repeating year, I believe Office and several other things, Last Jedi, other things that have been out on the service front, get rewatched and replayed countless more times than a bulk of this list. And that's why it's sort of is dishonest. So I want to prove that. I want to prove just because The Office came out 2 years ago doesn't mean it wasn't popular in 2019. I believe The Office, for the example, is most popular now than it is when it came out on NBC. There's no way. I know for a fact. I watch it tons. I know several friends who do. That show is doing gangbusters for them. That's why it was so valuable for Peacock, and why they're constantly trying to reboot it, because young people, old people, they all go back to that sort of safety junk food of, I love you know what, I can't figure out, but I will watch another episode of The Office. And there's other shows on there just like it. Everyone has their version of The Office, whether you like it or not. It's just, safe. So I don't believe it. Where is it? Why isn't it on the list? Oh, because it's not the first 28 days of release in 2019. It wasn't released then. So therefore, they don't have to count it. So let's really count it. Guys, I want you to look through this list. Now, to be fair, I watched about 6 of these. I actually did watch some of these, but I've watched other stuff that's not Netflix this year more often than a lot of it on here. And so I want to challenge you. Let's see. Is this BS, or is this just tricky marketing numbers? That's what it usually is. Anytime you see these sort of numbers presented by the company themselves, it's always tricky. I've worked for some companies. They did some shady stuff. And I say we just because I sadly worked there, but I didn't really realize the extent of how shady they were to advertisers and brands, and just sort of in selling their demographic numbers and video views. There's so much shady stuff, because even all these lists that you're going through, I'm curious. Like The Witcher, you're projecting. You can't say it's the most popular of 2019 when you're projecting it. I mean, these tactics are shady. Am I crazy? This is shady. This show's been out for a week, and then you go down and here's the popular series are right here: Stranger Things 3, Witcher, Umbrella Academy, Dead to Me. Dead to Me, actually, I did get into it. Season 1 was really fun. You, Season 2, also just dropped, but somehow it just dropped, but it's already more popular than these. When They See Us, Unbelievable, Sex Education, 13 Reasons Why. Again, this came out more than a year ago, so that's also weird to me, right? Didn't this come out a couple years ago? But somehow that's tracking and Office isn't. Shady Netflix, most popular movies. Now here, they finally did add Spider-Man and Spider-Verse. I can't believe that didn't perform better than The Highwayman. Come on, or Triple Frontier. Give me a break. Wreck-It Ralph 2. My kids watched that a dozen times. Secret Possession. I don't even know that one. Is that a Netflix one? Anyway, nonfiction. This is just all their reality shows, of course. And then here, top documentaries. Doesn't surprise me. I watched the Fire one. I watched Ted Bundy. But Kevin Hart literally dropped yesterday, and it's already number 10 most popular. This is shady stuff. Dave Chappelle, I believe that. They're buying comedy specials. All right, that one I believe. International releases, I haven't watched a lot of that. But this is crazy. What are they talking about? I don't get it. How can these be the most popular releases? Are these what you watched, guys? Is this what you watched on Netflix in 2019? Please go down and comment and tell me what you watched. I watched Last Jedi on Netflix because I want to rewatch it before Rise of Skywalker. I watched it at least 2 or 3 more times this year. I watched that more than The Irishman. I watched The Irishman once. So you're telling me I was the only one in December who watched The Last Jedi a few times? I find that hard to believe. This is crazy. What did you watch? Let's challenge this. Go down below, make a top 3, top 5, whatever, and tell us what was the thing. Be honest. What was the most stuff you watched on Netflix? What was your most popular? Things you checked out a lot. And then it was also frustrating is most popular, murder mystery, right? But so if I watched all of the episodes of Stranger Things, it doesn't get more points than the movie because there were 8 or 10 episodes or whatever it was. How are they quantifying that between the two things? It makes no sense. So if you watched one episode, it's more popular than other stuff. I mean, tell me, am I being crazy here? Does this something smell fishy? I'm curious. I want to do this together. I know from my own, what I picked, this list does not line up with all the things I watched on Netflix this past year. Let's break it down. What do you think? You can find this list all over. Just look up best popular list of 2019 to go and check this out. They say that Murder Mystery wrapped 30 million, almost 31 million accounts viewed it in its first 3 days, which represents the biggest opening weekend ever for Netflix. Now, again, I do buy this. Again, this is made by committee. It makes sense. But when that comes out, and they don't release it for everything else, I'm fascinated. Was 6 Underground really a success? How many people tuned in? And then are they still tuning in? Or do they watch the first weekend and then it's moved on? Why won't they tell us? It'd be very fascinating to know. I mean, I understand why not. From a business standpoint, you want to control those numbers. You don't want to show what's not working. You want everyone to think everything's working, and you want new subscribers to feel like Six Underground is a new, fresh thing, even if it's been out for a year. That's Netflix's job. So, look, I understand the metrics, but now when the competition's brewing and everything's coming about, I think it's time for us to demand better transparency from Netflix. And I think it's important for us to challenge them when they list their press releases of most popular Netflix things. Come on, be honest about it, or get rid of it. Say Netflix, most popular Netflix originals. Just be honest for what it is. But you're telling me in all that list, The Office didn't track better than them? Really? I would love to know if that's true. And if it's true, why not release the numbers? If this list is legit, if this is true and your stuff is tracking better than the studio stuff you're supporting, wouldn't that be impressive to show people? Of course it would. So why aren't they? Because it's shady. This is shady. Tell me down below what you watched this year. Let's compare notes. I'll be coming back and checking. I'm very curious. So help me out. Leave a comment. Like it while you're here to help the engagement. Thank you so much for watching. I got more content coming in the next throughout the week. If you got a story you want to tell me to report, please hit me up at Andy Signor. I'm working on my year-end best list. So I want to hear, what movies did you like? I still got to see a few. So ping me over on social if you got a list that you want to, hey, make sure, Andy, you saw that one. I'll tell you if I did or not, because I want to make sure I spend another week finalizing all the movies to give you that best and worst list, which is coming. Lots of fun stuff. Stay tuned. So be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me, and stay tuned. Bye, everybody.